And welcome, Mindsetters. You know, it's your boy Ty. I'm in here doing the grade 11 maths, lit with my man Peter. And I'm excited today. You know why? Because I've got two guests with me. They're acting all shy, but it's fine. It's fine. They'll come out of their shell eventually. Today I've got Kashifa and Anissa with me, and we're gonna rock this. We're gonna have fun. You guys know the page www.facebook.com/learn extra. Make sure you get chatting to us. See, it's not me today, so I don't have to get flack from Peter, who's always on my case, who's just like, Ty, you're just useless. I'm just like, Peter, you're hurting my feelings, but he doesn't care. Anyway, moving along. Pete, you ready for the show?
Oh, sorry, I thought you were doing the whole show by yourself. Well, good afternoon, everyone. It's great to have you here, and of course, it's absolutely special to have Kashifa and Anika in the studios. And I'm particularly glad because for those of you who've been following the shows and everything, you'll know that Ty is absolutely useless at remembering digits. So at least I have two ladies in the show here. They're going to help me remember all these figures. Sometimes we do calculations and then the calculator goes away and then no one remembers any figures. And it's quite painful. To make life easy as well, I'm going to give Kashifa a calculator. So Kashifa, when I do calculations, you're going to do them on the actual calculator. All right? And that'll be fantastic because then you'll have the answers on there, hopefully, if you know how to push the right buttons, which you do because I believe you're quite bright, which is fantastic. And then I'm just moving all over the place, so my producer's getting a bit of a heart attack here. And then on the odd occasion, Nita, what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask you to come and stand here next to me, Anissa, and then push a few buttons when I call you. All right, until then, just sit back, relax, enjoy the show. All right, nothing to be nervous about. There are only about 145,000 people watching you at the moment, but other than that, just sit back, relax, and smile, okay? Right, folks, so what are we doing today? It's all about data handling. And you'll remember that last week we started the whole topic of data handling, and that's exactly where we're going to pick it up again today because we never quite finished what we had started. So let's get going straight away. Right. The table below represents the population statistics of the countries in Southern Africa. Okay, so we've got a few countries in Southern Africa, and we've only chosen a few of them, so let's have a look. We've got Botswana, Lesotho, Mozambique, Namibia, South Africa. It's always good to have that as part of the southern countries, because it's the most southern one, isn't it? And then we have Swaziland and, of course, Zimbabwe. Now, if we look at what information is given to us, you can see that we've got the total area of the country. So, for example, if we look at Lesotho there, we can see Lesotho is 30,355 square kilometers. Now, what do I mean by square kilometers? It's quite simple, hey? If I had to put the country into a box, so in other words, let's have a look here. And let's just make some room here, doof, 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 doof. If I had a funny, weird-looking country, let's say this is my country, and I said, right, here's a country, what I want to do is I want to put it in a box. So I'm going to draw a box and squash the whole country in. So this little bit over here, let's stuff it in over there, okay? That little bit over there, let's put it in there. That little bit, let's put it in there. This little bit, let's put it in there. So in other words, if I got the whole country, and instead of having it in the shape that it is, we now make it into a rectangle, okay? The size of that country, okay, we're going to have a length in kilometers and a breadth in kilometers. And we would say that the size of that country is so many kilometers squared. Do you understand how we get that right? Okay? Not vitally important, but just a piece of useless, wonderful information. So, now, let's have a look at our question. So, you can see Lesotho, first of all, before we look at the question. Lesotho, total area, 30,355 kilometers squared. South Africa, in contrast, is 1,219,080 kilometers squared. In other words, South Africa is a much bigger country. We can fit a lot more sheep in our country. Okay, then we look at our population, and we see that in our population, we've got a country like Swaziland, which apparently has 1,100,000 people in it. Now, guys, obviously, when we're looking at populations and things like that, we're not giving a 100% accurate figure. It's an estimation, okay? It can't be accurate. I mean, if you look at all our figures of population, right? The very few of them are actually to the exact figure, except Namibia for some unknown reason, because Namibia have 318,261 people in it. Okay? If we look at Mozambique, we got 17,423,000 people. And if we look at South Africa, we can see we got 8 people. Wait, that doesn't make sense at all, does it? So straight away, when I see that letter A, I know that somewhere in my question, somewhere, someone's going to say to me, or the examiner's going to say to me, oi, what's the figure of A? So I'm sure that's going to come up somewhere. Okay, so now here we go. Arrange the countries in ascending order of area, and hence find the median. All right, so let's do that straight away. Oops, let's keep our information there, and let's just get rid of all this funny stuff. Right, now this is where the girls are going to help me, because what they're going to do is they're going to look at the area, and it's ascending order. Take note, we ask ascending order. Now, what does ascending mean? Right, if I'm in an aeroplane and we ascending, we are going up. If I'm sitting in an aeroplane and I hear the pilot say, ooh, we're descending, it means we're going down. And depends how he says that word descending, determines whether I panic or not. If he says, you are descending, we are descending, I succumb. If he says, we're descending, I panic. All right, but that's another story altogether. So we are going to ascend. In other words, we're going from the bottom to the top. So the first figure I've got to find is the smallest little figure. This is where the girls are going to help me. Okay, so let's go. These are the figures we're looking at because it's the area. Let's just confirm that. Yeah, total area. Right, girls, we're just going to tell me in which is the lowest, and we'll work up. All right, so let's go. Which is my lowest, ladies?
Swaziland.
Swaziland, absolutely. And then we've got?
Lesotho.
Absolutely. And then we've got, you'll notice Ty is very quiet throughout this whole thing. And that's why I'm thrilled we got some ladies. Okay. All right, let's go. Ladies, next we have?
Zimbabwe.
Zimbabwe, cool. Then we have? Botswana, and then?
Mozambique.
Mozambique, eh? Cool.
Yes.
And then?
Namibia.
And finally?
South Africa.
South Africa, absolutely. So arrange the countries in ascending order of area and hence find the median country. In other words, which country is slap in the center with regards the area. Okay, so that's what we're going to do. So I've got, and I'm going to cheat here a little bit, hey, because we're on TV and we're allowed to do that. In an exam, you're not allowed to do that at all. In fact, you'll get into serious trouble. So in an examination, what you would have to do is you would have to write 20,545. And then the next question would be 30,355. And then the next number would be 390,700, and so forth. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to write the numbers. So I know I've got country 1, then country 2, then 3, then 4, then 5, then 6, then 7. So I want to find the median. And remember last week we said, if you listen carefully to the word, so median sounds like middle. Got it? All right? In the same way, later we're going to look at something called the mode. And mode sounds like most. Cool? So median, the middle country. So let's have a look at it. So we're going to, and if you remember from last week, we're working from the outsides and we're working our way in. So we get rid of one country that side, one country that side. One country that side, one country this side. And country number 4 is my median. In other words, my median is 581,380. Got that? Ladies?
Yep.
That's straightforward. Hey, it's wonderful stuff. Maths lit is wonderful stuff. Let's go on to our next question. Our next question, we stick with the same data, but now there's a question that says, if the average population for all 7 southern African countries is 11,079,180, then calculate South Africa's population. Oy, 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 oy. Okay. Guys, this is a fantastic paper 2 question. So not a paper 1. Paper 1 would say something like, calculate the mean. For this question, we're saying, you know what? You've got the mean average. We're going to give it to you, but one of my daughters is actually missing. So what is that figure? Now, do you remember earlier I said South Africa's population was A? And I said, there's no such thing. And I bet later on they're going to say, calculate that value of A. Well, guess what? It's happening. So let's get on and do it. All right. So the average population for all 7 southern African countries is that amount. Now, do you remember that if I'm calculating the mean, I'm going to say the mean equals, and let's write that here, my mean equals my total over the number of countries. Cool? Right. So now, normally, we would be asked to find the mean. Because this is a difficult question, paper 2 type question, we're now giving you the mean. And the mean we are giving you is this huge number over here. So let's write it down. 11,079,180. So if the average population for all 7 southern countries is 11,079,180, calculate South Africa's population. So now what we've got to do is we've got to find what is the total. And normally what we do, and we're going to do it again now, is we are going to say, right, my population is this amount over here. We're going to add 1,456,000. So we're going to say we've got 1,456,000. Plus we're going to add the next country. And my next country is this country over here, which is Lesotho, and that's at 2,050,000. So we're going to add 2,050,000. Plus, we're going to add the next country, and the next country, and the next country. Plus A. Okay? Now, again, I'm being lazy, and I'm allowed to because I'm on TV. In exam, you can't do that. You do that, and you get a little cross next to your work. So I'm going to add up all the countries, but right at the end I'm going to say plus A. All over. Because remember, A is part of that total. All over the total number of countries. Now, how many countries do I have, ladies?
7.
7, absolutely. Hey? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Cool. So I've got 7 countries. So I'm going to say, and I'm going this side, why? Because I want to. So I've got 11,079,180 equals, and now what I've got to do is I've got to add up all these countries, okay? I've got to add up 1,456,000 plus the 2,050,000. So that's what we're going to do right now. So I'm going to just look for a little calculator. Up it comes, and I'm going to shift the calculator out the way so we can do the work. Right. And what I'm going to do then is I'm going to ask Anissa to come forward, okay? And she's just going to push a few buttons and have some fun on the calculator. While she does that, we're going to do it on the calculator as well. All right, so you're going to work on the man size thing.
Okay.
And you're going to go on the little one. Right, so let's go. So it's just like a normal calculator, 1,456,000, brilliant, plus, and away you go. Just go wild, okay? Have wonderful fun here. You're on live TV, 100,000 people are watching you. If you make a mistake, all your friends will talk about it tomorrow. Don't panic about that at all, but just have fun.
There's
okay.
totally nothing to worry about
Nothing
at
to
all,
worry
as
about.
Peter pointed out.
Right, you're doing fantastic. 26000 equals, push equals, and what do we get? Just a big number, hey? Kashifa, do you want to tell us what that is?
I got a different number.
Oh,
You
goodness.
got a different number.
Did I go
we
wrong
have a
somewhere?
technical problem. Live TV, and we have conflict in the studio. This is fun. But guys, you know what? And you know what? Let's just do it again. Let's just delete, exit. And while you do that, I'll talk to the people behind us. Right. So listen, folks. Sometimes that kind of thing can happen in an exam. And what I always say to my students is this. Once you've done that kind of calculation, do it again, because you might have made a mistake somewhere. So we got Kashifa here who's got a different total to Anissa. And so one of them have made a mistake. We're not sure which one yet. And when we do, we'll find out and we'll laugh at them. But before that, they've got to figure out. Now, in an exam, you've got no one checking you. You've got no one to say, you know what, I've got a different answer to you. The only person who can do that is you yourself. So I would strongly advise that when you get to adding up a whole lot of figures, do it. Write down your answer. Clear your calculator and do it again. Why? Because you know what you're doing. How sad it would be if accidentally you pushed the incorrect number and so you got an answer that's not right, but you knew what you were doing. Okay, not too good. How's it going here?
I forgot to add the last one.
Ah, we forgot to add the last one. Are we friends again? Yep, ladies, right, we are. So we land up with this wonderful answer here, and I'm going to ask you to call it out to me again, because you'll see what happens. I'm sure you watch this at home, and you see that sometimes as soon as we go to the screen, the calculator disappears, and that's exactly what's going to happen. Look there, calculator goes away, and that's when I always panic on live TV thinking, how am I going to remember this number? But today we've got you in the studio, so let's go. So what is my total?
234
234
732
7
3
3
2
2
61.
61. Sure. That's not a number, hey, that's like a whole Korean thing. Okay.
Plus A.
Plus A. Lovely. Excellent. I'm glad you said that. So that's not the only total. That's just the total of the figures. But there was still another figure, and we don't know what that figure is. We know it's called A, but there's no such figure as A, is there? So we've got to find out what that is. So far, this is what we've got. We've got this lovely 11,079,180 equals this wonderful huge figure of 23,473,261 plus A all over 7. All right, now ladies, I know you know exactly what we're going to do next. What are we going to do?
Cross.
The 11079,180 times 7.
Absolutely, hey? Because we're trying to find out what is that A. And if we're trying to find out what is that A, eventually we want to move everything over until we got A by itself. So what our ladies are saying is, well, let's get rid of the 7 first. Absolutely. This side we're dividing by 7, we're going to go across and we're going to multiply by 7, right? So let's just push 7 on our calculator. So you've already got 11,079,180. Yes, we do. Yes. Times 7 equals
77
77
55
55
42
42
60.
60. Okay, excellent. And that is equal to 234,73261 plus A. Brilliant. Okay, fantastic. Now we want A by itself. So what are we going to do, ladies?
Minus.
Excellent. Hey, we're going to get rid of this horrible 23,000 something figure, and it's this side, and so we're going to throw it across that side. It's a positive this side, goes across, and we're going to minus it. Okay. And when I say that, I know if there are any maths teachers out there and they hear what I say about it's positive this side, so we take it across, it becomes negative. A lot of maths teachers go into cardiac arrest and fall down dead right on the spot. But that's okay. I'm talking to our maths students. I'm trying to make it as easy as possible. Okay, so there's a different kind of understanding, and so maths teachers, if you're out there, before you phone in and get on the computer and go totally ballistic, just bear with me. Right, so we're now saying, okay, then A is equal to, Lisa, come back, let's see you do this, and let's go for it. So we're going to clear the calculator, and you are now going to say 7755 4260 minus
234,73261.
Brilliant. Equals. Do we have a buddy in the studio? Yes, we do. Okay, that's fantastic. So we now know then that A is equal to, read it out to me again.
54
54
080
080
999.
999. Okay, so we've just worked out South Africa's population, and we're saying South Africa's population is 54,080,999. Okay, ladies, you've been brilliant. You've really been fantastic. I'm thrilled you're in the studio. I wish we could have more like you. Okay, please don't be offended, Tom. Now,
I was wondering, like, I never get asked to come and push buttons on the calculator. This is so unfair.
I know, but we want it done properly. Okay, so population density, in other words, the average number of people living in 1 square kilometer, can be calculated by dividing the area by the population. Using this information and the table above, calculate Zimbabwe's population density. Okay, so we're going to look at Zimbabwe, and in other words, those are the 2 figures we're looking at. Right. Let's do it quickly. I think we've got a bit of time. So it tells us quickly that the average population, or the population density, how do we do it? We divide the area by the population. What's the area? The area is 390,000, or was that that is the area, huh?
Yep.
Cool. And we're going to divide it by the number of people. 11 million.
26,000.
In fact, that's not 11 million at all. Hey, that's 1,126,000. Okay. Thanks to our producer for typing that incorrectly. Okay, now that we've got that, all we got to do is work out the answer. And what's our answer?
0,347.
0,347.
347.
Okay. What have we actually calculated? We've calculated that every kilometer, okay, is shared by 0,347 people. Okay? Or, yeah. Got it? Happy? You sure? Ladies, we've got to take a break here, but I'm not allowed to say that because that's Ty's job.
You see, now Peter's blaming me for attempting to take his job while he keeps linking us to breaks when it's my job. Come on, Peter. I've got a job to do, man.
Okay.
Anyway, guys, you know the drill. Make sure you take a nice little break, grab something to eat, grab some water, whatever. But then make sure you come back with your notepads and pens ready to make notes. And guys, the page is a bit quiet. So guys, get on the page, chat to us. If you're lost anywhere, need help, make sure you get those questions to the page. But for now, we'll see you after this break. Welcome back, Mindsetters, to this grade 11 maths lit session. We're here, we're having fun. You know, I've got Anissa here, I've got Kashifa here. We're doing this problem. So Pete, you ready? You good to go?
I think we're good to go.
All right.
Guys, just before the break, we looked at a problem where we were trying to find out the number of people that live in a square kilometer, okay? And so what the question stated was that we were to divide the area by the population. All right, now, you know, sometimes on the very rare occasion, your teacher makes a little bit of a oopsie-doops, all right? Now, the person who set this question also made a mistake, okay? So teachers are not perfect. Not everyone is like me. So what this question should have been was by dividing the population by the area, not the area by the population. Right, so let's work it out. So we're going to pretend this never ever happened. We're going to pretend that the person who set the question is being sent out the country, deported, and now we're back here, real life stuff, and everything's going to go well. So I know that this country has 1,126,000 people. We know that the country as well, which we're talking about, Zimbabwe, has a square area of 390,755. When I divide that, what do I get?
2,88.
2,88. Okay, is that rounded off?
Yes.
Okay, fantastic. So we got 2,88 people living in every square kilometer. That's a bit problematic, okay, because you know and I know that you can't have 0.88 of a person. Even if someone hasn't got a right arm, they're still a whole person. Even if you decapitate someone's left arm, right leg, or left leg, right leg, they're still a person because a number of limbs don't make a person. So is it possible to get 0.88 of a person? Not at all. However, in this case, we leave it as 0.88 because we're dealing with a statistic, right? If we were giving you a question and we wanted to know how many people are in your class and you said there were 2,88, well, that's a different thing altogether, okay? Something's wrong. Even if the guy sitting next to you only has one arm, or if the guy sitting next to you isn't quite all proper, he's still a whole person. Okay, so 2,88 people live in every square kilometer. And the reason why we also get that 0.88 is because, well, maybe in 1 kilometer squared there are 12 people. Maybe in another squared kilometer there are 300 people. Got it? Okay, so it might vary, but average 2,88. Guys, it's time to move on. Now, our next question is this. A sample of people living in a certain district of Johannesburg were asked how much they earn every month, and the results were recorded as follows. Okay. Now, up to now, what we've done is we would have given you those actual results. So we would have said, someone said 4,500, someone said 8,000, someone said 9,000, someone said 25,000. Okay? Now what we're doing is we are giving you those answers in the form of a pie chart. Okay? So let's look at it. So here's my pie chart, and what we're actually saying is all this area, this whole area shaded black, okay, which symbolizes 630 people earn less than 5,000 Rand every month. This area shaded in grey, we've got 270 people who earn between 5,000 and 10,000 Rand. And then finally, we've got 180 people who are earning more than 10,000 Rand every month. Got that? Okay? Not hard, not difficult at all. But let's have a look at the questions. So my first question, how many people were questioned? Hey guys, yes, like this is an embarrassing question because it's so straightforward. You could get a question like this on a paper one, because what the examiner is trying to do is say, well, do you know what all these figures actually mean? Or do you think this symbolizes the number of degrees? Okay. In a paper 2, we wouldn't ask that kind of question. We'd go straight for the jugular and give you a horrible type of question. But how many people questioned? Well, here we go. All right. We've got 180, plus we got 270, plus we got 630 people. Right, let's go. Shifa.
1,080.
1,080. Okay. Kashifa, how did you get that?
I added all three together.
Absolutely. Hey, straightforward. We added all together and we got 1,080.
80.
All right. Now, ladies, I think you're going to have to remember that figure because we might need it later on. Right. Next question. Again, following on. If you had been asked to draw the graph, so let's pretend you didn't get that graph. Let's pretend we just told you the figures. Let's pretend we gave you the figures of 630, 270, and 180. So we gave you those figures, but we never ever told you or never gave you the pie chart. Now we're saying, well, if you had to draw the pie chart, how big would you make this part over here? Okay? How big would that angle actually be? And that's what we've got to calculate. Now, if I were to say to you, what percentage of people earn lower than 5,000 Rand, what you would then do is you would do this. You would say, right, well, 630 people earn less than 5,000, and of those 630 people, in total we had
1,080.
1,080, brilliant. And if we were trying to find that as a percentage, Anita, what would we do?
Sorry, I was...
Anissa? I'll keep calling you Anita, that's why I treat you. You're laughing because I'm giving you a different name. That's all right, my son changes his name on a daily basis. So 630 divided by 1,080 as a percentage multiplied by 100. Okay, so if the question said what is that as a percentage, that's exactly what we would do. And our answer would be
58,3.
58,3%. Brilliant. Okay? And we knew it was going to be more than 50%, because if you look at that, if I just had 50%, my graph would come down here somewhere. Would you agree? And half of it would be 50%. So we know it's more than half. So that kind of question, or that question makes kind of sense. And guys, that's what you've got to do in an exam. Eh? When you finish doing a question, don't just underline and say, sure, thank goodness, that's over. Right? Say, well, let me analyze this answer. Does it make sense? And in this case, it does make sense. So we've worked out the population, the percentage, right? But that wasn't the question. The question is, what angle would you make that? So we've still got 630 over a total of 1,080. But we are not going to change it to a percentage. What we are now going to do is we are going to try and change that to a degree. Okay. How many degrees in a circle?
360.
360, absolutely right. Eh? So they're 360 degrees. Because of that, we are changing the 630 over 1,080 to a angle. We're multiplying it by 360. Drum roll.
210 degrees.
Fantastic. 210 degrees. Let's see if that makes any sense. Okay? If we start at 0 degrees, We know there's 360 degrees, so if I go all the way around the circle, I'm going to get 360. If I go halfway, I'm going to get 180 degrees. If I go 3/4, what am I going to get?
270.
270, absolutely. So I know, it's quite funny that 270 is there, hey? But I know that my answer has to be between 180 and 270, but closer to the 180. And we got an answer of 210 degrees, absolutely. And 210 degrees is 30 degrees that way, and it's going to be 60 degrees from that. So you know what? It makes sense. It really does. Okay. Fantastic way of doing it. But can you see how once we've got our answer, let's look at it and say, you know, does this make any sense? All right. So the one day I gave my class a test, and they had to use a scale, and via the scale, they then had to work out the size of an elephant's brain. Okay, so I gave them a picture of an elephant's brain, told them what the scale of the drawing was, and said, calculate the size of the brain. And one of my boys got an answer of 428 kilometers. Now, guys, if you get an answer like that, you've got to look at it and say, hold on, does this make sense? Is there any elephant on this earth that's anywhere near 438 kilometers or whatever it was? Okay? Not at all. So maybe there's something wrong with my answer. All right, let's move on. Again, now, whoa, get a totally different question here. This is fun. Consider the cumulative frequency table below, which is a summary of the results after a class of boys were asked, which is your favorite color? Okay? So, you've got to complete the cumulative frequency table by filling in all the open gaps. Ladies and gentlemen, that is definitely a level 1 question. All right? Teacher comes to class, and in this case, it's a class of boys, and says, right, what's your favorite color, kiddos? And this is what they do. Some say blue, some say red, some say green, some say yellow. Okay? Total of 6 said blue. How would we have drawn that in our tank? Well, we would have said I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we put a line around the 5th one. Okay? Do you remember? And then 6. So looking at that, we know every group of lines, they've got a line through it, symbolizes the number 5. So just by looking at that, I can say there's 6. Now, how many people like or favorite color is red? There are 4. How many like green? There are 2. How many like yellow? There are 4. Right. What's the cumulative frequency? What does cumulative frequency mean? Well, cumulative frequency actually means you're taking the frequency, okay, and you're adding the next frequency, and then the next frequency, and then the next. So you're getting a collective answer, a final answer after adding up all those little bits. So what we've got now is we've got 6, then we've got plus 4, so now we've got a total of 10. Then we've got plus 2, so we got a total of 12. Then we got plus 4, and we got a total of 16. Got a total of 16 what? Okay? 16 different answers. You could also say, oi, in this class, there are 16 boys, and you'll be 100% correct. Okay? Can you see how cumulative frequency is drawn up? Straightforward, nothing difficult about it, no trick involved at all. Sometimes a few folk battle with this, knowing that you've got to say 6 plus the 4 gives me a total of 10. Instead of saying cumulative frequency, you can say the total. All right, it means the same thing. So what is my grand total? Well, 6 plus 4 is 10, plus 2 is 12, plus 4 is 16. Again, straightforward, guys. There's nothing difficult about this work at all. Right, moving on. My next question says this, when I get there. All right, here we go. It's fun seeing this happen in real life, hey ladies, because then you know what it's all about. Now it says, draw a frequency bar graph, okay, using the set of axes on the answer sheet. So now what we've got, do you remember we had 6, we got 4, we got 2, and we got 4. We're going to take this information and we're going to plot it on a bar graph. And it's very straightforward. It's very basic. Anybody can do it. And guys, you wouldn't get this in a paper 2, okay? But you could get it in a paper 1. So let's go. So we've got 4 colors, right? Ladies, do you remember what my colors are?
Blue.
Blue, right. We've got blue.
Green.
We've got, okay, look at it carefully, study it, okay? Blue, red, green, yellow. Here we go. Blue, then
Red.
red, then
Green.
green, then
Yellow.
yellow. Okay, now, you will notice that I'm leaving a block open because I'm doing a bar graph. And a bar graph, I've got to have bars. And you'll remember that we went through that in quite a lot of detail last week. Now, how many boys like blue? There were 6 boys that like blue. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say, right, let's put our numbers on the side here. Okay. Now, remembering we've got to label our axes. Very important. So what am I got here at the bottom? I've got my colors. Cool. And what do I have on the side here?
Number of legs.
Okay, yeah, the number of people. Or we could call it the frequency. All right. So let's just call that frequency. Oh, my goodness. Yeah, sometimes your sleeve catches on the board and then it's great fun. Okay. So now, here's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I don't think we need much more than that. Right. And we said the number of people who like blue was 6. So we're going to say, all right, so I've got 6 blues. And we're going to draw a line. Oops, I missed the 6. There we go. And all the way down here. And I'm going to shade it in. Why? Because I want to. And it makes it look nice. Now, please understand that in a Maths Lit exam, I don't have time to draw beautiful flowers and lovely kind of weird and wonderful things. All I'm going to do is I'm going to draw a block and maybe shade it in pencil. Right. Next one, red. There were 2.
4.
Okay, ladies, you're getting to know time too well now.
What is he blaming on me?
Right. Sorry, there were 4 red. So we know we've got 4 red, but take note again. I'm leaving a gap. Why am I leaving a gap? Because I'm dealing with bar graphs. And that's the number of red I've got. Green, we had 2, so we're going to draw 2. And finally, yellow, we had
4.
4 again. Nice. And there it is. Okay, and we're just going to color that whole area in. All right, and that's simplistically your bar graph. Now, understanding that in a matric exam, you guys are grade 11, but in a matric exam, we can make it a little more complicated. Okay, so we might give you quite a tough frequency scale to put in. It might not just be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It could be 50, 100, 150, 200, and you would have to determine from the axis given to you exactly what frequency one block would have to represent. Okay, but that's grade 12 stuff. Gets a little more challenging. Let's move on. Right. Okay, now we're talking rugby. The ladies are looking at me all kind of funny here, saying, how could you do that? You should have chosen ballet. Well, let's go anyway. So rugby was once known as the national sport. Okay, many years ago. I don't think it is anymore. Hey, I think it's now hockey or ballet or something. All right. So a game. So what is rugby? It's a game that is battled out between 2 teams, each with 15 players. 2 of the teams that are well known in South Africa are the Sharks, that represent the KwaZulu-Natal province. And then there's those Stormers, and they represent the Western Cape. The following information was taken just before these 2 teams played against each other. All right. And what information was taken? It was the height of each member of those teams. So what actually happened before a game? We have a phenomenal rugby game. Here we have the Sharks, the mighty Sharks. Wonderful group of people, mighty players, fantastic rugby players, can't get better. And then we have the Stormers. Okay, and now what we do is we take those Sharks and we measure each one's height. Why are we doing this? So we can have a good Maths Lit question. All right, so we measure each person's height, and there it is, 1.89 meters, 1,9 meter, 1,83 meter, 1,79 meter, etc., etc. We're not going to read them all. And then we've got someone who's got X meters. Now you know, and I know, that there's no such thing as X meters. So somewhere we're going to have to calculate what that X is symbolizing. Okay. Then the heights of the Stormers rugby team, 1.79. I didn't know they could grow that tall. 1,79, 1,81, 1,83, 1,98, 1,9. You get the idea. All right? So there's quite a bit of information given here. All right. Gentlemen, I know that if this question asks me to calculate the mean, and I've got to add up all those figures, I'm going to do it at least twice to check myself. Because adding up so many figures, especially when there's a comma somewhere, all right, and on your calculator it's symbolized by a point. But as soon as I've got to add up 15 digits and there's points in between, chances are I could make a mistake. right? So I've got to check myself the whole time. So what's my very first question? My very first question says, calculate the average height of the Stormers rugby team. So we've got to calculate the mean average, and that's exactly what we're going to do. So we're going to say, right, the mean is equal to all these heights. 1,79 plus 1,81 meters plus add, divided by the number of rugby players, which was 15. Okay, so we divide it by 15. So now what we've got to do is we've got to add up all those digits. So I'll tell you what we're going to do. We're going to take a break, and while we're having a break, the ladies are going to be doing the mathematics. We're going to come back, and the answer's going to be on the board. How fantastic is that? Tom?
That's going to be great. So guys, you know the drill. As I always say, make sure you come back after the break ready for another session of hard work and learning. But for now, guys, we're going to see you after this break. Welcome back, Mindsetters, to this grade 11 maths lit session. We're all having fun here with Kashifa in the Nissan studio, and Pete's always just Pete, you know, and Ty. We're just having fun. So Pete, we're ready for the rest of the show.
Right, and just before the break, what we did was we had all the heights, do you remember, of the mighty Stormers, and the mighty Sharks.
Sure.
That was a slip up. The mighty Sharks, and then the poor little Stormers. And the question was, calculate the mean average height of those Stormers. Okay, so during the break, then our two ladies were adding it up. Okay, Anissa, you were doing it on the big calculator. What's your answer? Let's see. Okay, right, and it's 39,42. Whoa, fantastic. Sure. Okay, so we've got 39. Let's find a pen here. Thanks, Anissa. 39,42, and we're going to divide that by 15, because obviously the average height is not 39,42 meters. Not at all. That's the total height of the 15 players. So we want to find out the average height. Right, divided by 15, what do we get?
1,878.
1,878.
8.
Okay, you know what? I think you're being nice, eh? Because I know 39, was that 39, hey? 39 divided by 15 goes at least to something. So I think you were just trying to be nice to Anissa, hey? Because you knew she'd made a mistake and it wasn't right. All right, what was the real answer? Come on, tell us.
I don't remember.
You don't remember. Okay, no problem. You're on live TV. It's okay if you make a mistake. All right, so basically what we've done is we've added up the total now of all the heights of our little Stormers, and then we've divided it by 15, and we've come up now with an average height of 1,878 meters. Okay, that's pretty tall, hey? We've got some big boys there. Let's move on to our next question. Our next question says this: the tallest member of the Sharks team is X meters. Oh, so what is X? If the Sharks' height had a range of 0,33 meters. Lovely paper 2 question. Normally we say to you, what is the range? And you say, well, that's easy. Range is the highest minus the lowest. Now I'm giving you the range, and I'm saying, okay, well now what is that X? So let's do that. We're going to say, right, my range is equal to the highest minus the lowest. What is my highest figure? Well, we told the tallest member is X meters. And we told the range is 0,33 meters. Do we know the lowest? Well, yeah, we do, hey? It's given in our data. Let's have a look at the data. Let's go to the Sharks. There they are. Who's the shortest little boy in the Sharks team? Do we know? How tall is he?
1,77.
1,77, absolutely. Hey, that does look like the shortest little fella. So my highest guy, which is X, minus my lowest, which is 1,77. Now I'm trying to find out that value of X. So on this side I already have 0,33 meters. When I go across that side, I'm subtracting, so I go across and I'm going to add, absolutely. So we add 1,77 meters. And X is going to give us
2,1.
2,1 meters. Sure, that's not a person, that's a building. Okay. If you're playing a game of rugby and someone 2.1 meters comes towards you, you give them the ball. Okay? That's if you want to see tomorrow. Right, let's move on. So, next question. Arrange the heights of the Sharks team in ascending order, from shortest to tallest. Determine the median of the Sharks' height. Now, gentlemen, or ladies and gentlemen out there, we don't have that much time to do this. But because we are running out of time. In fact, according to me, my producer's telling me we've got no minutes left, but I'm sure that's not the truth. Okay? We've got 6 minutes left, and I don't have time to do this, but what we would do is ascending order. We'd start from the smallest little fellow up to that big building, that 2.1 meter fellow. All right? And we'd arrange it in order. So you would have to look at this, and it's a tricky question. It's not that easy at all. Because we'd have to start with 1.77, then we would go on, and I think we'd get 1.79. We would then put in order the next one, 1.81, I think it is, all right? And we'd have to work through all our data, all 15 players, and arrange them from the smallest to the tallest. Once we've done that, we would eliminate height from both sides until we get to that middle figure. And that middle figure is our median. Median, middle. Got it. Right. Sorry we don't have time to do this, but you get the idea. And beforehand, we did a question very similar to this, where we had to calculate the median anyway. Right. So let's go on. And with 5 minutes to spare, let's have a look at this. The pie chart below shows how the average South African family spend its income in 2006. So someone went around to everybody's door, knocked on their door and said, can you tell me how you spend your money? Okay? And they said, well, my total salary is so much. I spend so much on lights and water. I spend so much on feeding my dog. I spend so much on food. I spend so much on transport. I spend so much on my child. I spend so much on my mother and my mother-in-law. Okay? Which is not very much. And so that's how the whole question, set of answers came about. So someone then went around, asked hundreds of households these questions, then came back and sat in an office and put all that information into a pie chart. And the end result was this. It was estimated that 15% of household money is spent on food. On average, 20% of household money is spent on transport. That was before the petrol increase, okay? Now it's a whack more. 12 Rand 2 cents for 1 litre of petrol and 12 Rand 4 cents for 1 litre of diesel. I kid you not. Okay, so that nowadays would be a lot more, but this goes back some time, so it's not that much. Housing, water, electricity, 25% of people's income would be spent on water and electricity. 40% is on all kinds of other things. And that other thing could be going to the movies, buying clothes, spending money on your child, spending money on your mother-in-law, and that kind of thing, okay? Like repairing her motor vehicle. So, all 40% there. Now, the question is this. What fraction of monthly expenditure went on housing, water, and electricity? So it's 25%. What's that as a fraction? Well, we know that when we deal with percentages, 25% means 25 over 100. So I've got 25 over 100. What is that as a fraction? Well, quite simply, all we need to do, and it's a cheat, eh? It's a wonderful, wonderful cheat tool, is your calculator. All you do is you push your fraction button, okay, when you find it, and you say 25 over 100. There it is. Push the equal sign, and look what happens. Our calculator gives us the answer. It gives us a quarter. So the calculator does it for you. You don't even need to panic when you get questions like this because you have that wonderful calculator that your parents bought you. So use it, okay? Use it. It's worth every cent that your folks paid for it. All right. How are we doing for time? Can we go on to another question, Ty?
I think so. We might have just enough time for one more.
One more maybe. Okay, let's do this quickly. The average amount spent by a South African family in 2006 was 56,152 rand. How much per month did the average family spend? All right, now guys, look, remember I always tell you this. Always, always, always tell you. There's no such thing as a question unless there's a mark allocation. And this huge question has a mark allocation of 2. So I know it doesn't require a lot of work. So how much money do we spend per month? Well, if we spend 56,152 rand in a year, in a month, it's quite simple. All we're going to do is we're going to say, right, we've got this 56,152 rand. We're going to divide it by 12. Why 12? 12 months in a year. And my final answer then is going to be 4,679 rand 33. Okay, let's write that down. So I've got, and I'm glad the ladies are here because I've already forgotten the number. It is
679.
79, comma
33.
33333. Right. We're dealing with money, folk. When you deal with money, you can't have comma 33. Imagine going into a shop saying, how much does that cost? And they say, well, it actually costs 4 rand and 33,333,333 cents. Can't do it, okay? Round it off. There it is, 33 cents.
All right, guys. So I hope you guys are having fun. As much fun as I was, because I was having fun. So guys, from us, we're going to see you next time. And guys, keep using the page. It's for you, it's for you, it's for you. But from us, we're going to say peace.